So there's a man in the Bible named David. King David, the man after God's own heart. Except that heart must be pitch black, because one evening, David walked on the roof of his palace and saw a woman bathing. Her name was Bathsheba. She was married, but David didn't care. He sent his servants to bring her to him. And what could she say? No one says no to the king. So David slept with her. We call it adultery. But let's be honest, it was power-driven coercion. She gets pregnant. David panics. He tries to trick her husband, Uriah, into coming home from war to sleep with her, so it'll look like the child is his. But Uriah is too loyal, too honorable. He refuses to relax at home while his fellow soldiers are dying in battle. So David comes up with plan B. He arranges for Uriah to be killed, sends him back to the front lines with sealed orders, tells the commander to abandon him during the fighting. Uriah dies, never knowing his king betrayed him. And Bathsheba, now a grieving widow, pregnant, alone, used, silenced, and forced to marry the man who orchestrated it all. So what does God do? You'd think this would be a moment for divine wrath. Strike David down, take the crown, show some justice. But no, God kills the baby, a newborn, struck sick by God, and not just killed instantly. No, the child suffers for 7 days, fighting to live, while David fasts and prays. Then the baby dies. The baby did nothing wrong. No sin, no guilt, just born into a mess created by a king and protected by a God. How is this fair? How is this love? What lesson is being taught here? And God's not done. Through the prophet Nathan, God tells David that his punishment includes public humiliation. I will take your wives and give them to someone close to you. He will sleep with them in broad daylight. Let's be clear. These women did nothing wrong. They had no say in David's crimes. They had no part in his decisions. And now, as punishment, they're to be savagely violated, stripped of agency, reduced to a symbol in God's object lesson. Their pain used to teach someone else a lesson. Imagine being one of those women, waking up one morning as a royal wife, and by sunset, handed over to another man to be publicly violated. No protection, no consent, no choice. God doesn't comfort them, doesn't warn them, doesn't protect them. He hands them over. And before all of this, God sends Nathan to tell David a story, a parable, about a rich man who steals a poor man's lamb, his only lamb, one he loved like a daughter. David hears it and is outraged. That man deserves to die, he says. And Nathan responds, you are that man. It's meant to be the moment of reckoning, but it's not, because David doesn't die. He doesn't lose his throne. He doesn't even suffer directly. The baby dies. The wives suffer. And David fasts, weeps, writes a psalm, and moves on. So even the confrontation is a performance, a trick to make him feel something, but not to change the outcome, not to bring justice. Imagine if this story appeared in any other book. Would you praise the character who allowed this to happen? Would you worship him, or would you call him what he is? Cruel, indifferent, broken. This isn't justice. This is divine cruelty dressed in holy language. And the man who committed the crimes, David, he stays king, still writes psalms, still gets praise from every pulpit in the world. Let's break this down. David steals a woman, murders her husband, covers it up, and God punishes the baby, the wives, and Bathsheba. Not David. He gets a legacy. He gets songs, he gets forgiveness, and all the collateral damage forgotten. You can call that holy all you want, but don't call it good, and definitely don't call it justice. Here's a thought. If God really wanted to punish David, why not strike him with temporary impotence? He still has the desire to sin, so his free will stays intact, but he physically can't act on it. No adultery, no murder, no dead baby, no wives raped, just one bad king, stuck with his shame. There, problem solved. And I came up with that in 5 seconds. So if I can do better than the so-called perfect God, why do people still worship him? Maybe they should be worshiping me. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.